Excuse sir, please unmute sir. Sir, excuse sir, please unmute. Sir, excuse sir, please unmute sir.
Okay, students. So yesterday we had done this galvanometer and ammeter, and we have also seen how you can convert this galvanometer into ammeter. So construction of ammeter by using galvanometer. This also we have seen. Okay, and we did one problem on this. We have done one problem on this. It is here. Yeah, this problem we had done. Okay. So anybody is having any doubt regarding yesterday's lecture? Is anyone having any doubt regarding yesterday's lecture? You can ask now itself. If anyone is having any doubt, you just ask now itself. Or shall I move to the next topic? Okay. About shunt. Shunt is a resistor which is connected in parallel. Shunt is a resistor which is connected in parallel. Okay. And generally the shunt value is very, very small. Okay. As compared to the main resistor, the shunt value will be very small. Okay. So that's the only shunt. Shunt is a small resistor connected in parallel. Okay. That is called a shunt. That's it. That's just a special name given to a particular kind of resistor. Anything else? Apart from this, anybody else is having any doubt? Okay, so I'm starting this voltmeter now. Okay, fine. So voltmeter is there. Okay, and this, what is the use of voltmeter? Yes, see, we don't measure potential using the voltmeter. Okay, we actually measure potential difference. So if I ask you what is the function of voltmeter, so you should not say that it measures potential. No, it does not measures potential. It will measure potential difference. Okay, so many times by now I have already told you that there is a difference between a potential and a potential difference. Okay, so it will measure potential difference. Okay, it will measure potential difference. Okay, it will not measure potential, instead it is going to measure potential difference. Fine. Now it is connected. Okay, for measurement of potential difference in a circuit, it is actually connected in parallel. How was ammeter connected? How was ammeter connected? It was connected in series. And how is this voltmeter connected? In parallel. Okay, it is connected in parallel. Okay, so one point we have to see why it is connected in parallel now. Okay, one point we have to see why it is connected in parallel and what will happen if I connect in series. Okay, one thing. Now it is saying that ideal voltmeter, its internal resistance must be infinite. Its internal resistance must be infinite. Okay, so we have to understand 2 points here. One, one point, that why it is, okay, why it is connected in parallel and what will happen if I connect in series. First thing. Second point, what we have to see is that why it is having a infinite resistance. So these 2 points we are going to see now. Now first see here, if this is the resistor, okay, and suppose through this resistor a current of 2 ohm or 2 ampere flows, a current of 2 ampere flow, fine, and I am taking points A, B and C. Okay, this is a resistor of 3 ohm. Okay, now you tell me what is the potential difference, what is the potential difference, what is the potential difference across AB, what is the potential difference? Yes, anyone? What is the potential difference across AB? Two by three, 6, good, 6, good. So it is 6 volt. Potential difference, how do you get? V is equals to I into R. So this is 2 into 3, that becomes 6. Okay, 6 volts. What is potential difference? What is potential difference across BC? Across BC, what is the potential difference? What is the potential difference across BC? Potential difference across BC. 0. Very good. V is equals to IR. Okay, V is equals to IR. I current is 2, and what is the resistance there? 0. So it becomes 0. So the potential difference across BC is 0. The potential difference across BC is 0. Now, suppose what is our aim? What is our aim? Our aim is to find potential difference across resistor. Okay, potential difference across a resistor. This is our aim to find. Okay, now where we are going to put this now? Where are we going to put this now? Okay, this voltmeter, where are we going to put this? Just see. Shall I put it here? I am giving you 2 positions. This is one position. Okay, and this is one position. This one here. Okay, so this is position 1. This is position 2. Now, if at position 1, what will be the reading? What will be the reading at position 1? Will this voltmeter give me 6, reading 6? And if you connect at 2, what will be the potential reading? It will be 0. You wanted it across what? Where did you want it? Across A and B. Okay, across A and B you want it. So where you will connect? Like this. Is it understood now? That why are we actually connecting this in parallel? Why not in series? Yes. Understood this point? Okay, fine. Now next what we are going to see is that why are we not going to connect this? Why are we not going to connect this? Sorry, this point. This first point is over. This is the first point, that why it is connected in parallel, not in series. So it is not connected in series because of this reason. Okay. Now the second point I'm going to explain you, which was that ideal voltmeter, it should have infinite internal resistance. Okay, but practically it should have very, very high. Okay, infinite is not possible to have, but practically it is very high. Okay, now let us do that. So suppose if I'm having this resistor, okay, and this is the current and this is the battery, okay, of 20 volt. This is of 10 ohms, okay, fine. What is the current now? What is the current value? Yes, what will be the current value here? I is equals to V by R. So 20 by 10, this gives me 2 ampere. So 2 ampere, okay, 2 ampere, fine. Now what will be potential difference? What should be the potential difference? What should be the potential difference? Yes, potential difference across 10 ohm, what should be? So it is I into R. I value is 2, 10 and R value is 10, so it should be how much? It will be 20, fine. Now this is what happens. Now suppose if I have a resistor, now we know that the voltmeter should be connected in parallel, so I'm connecting it like this. I'm connecting it like this. Now suppose this is a voltmeter, and all of us know that voltmeter is an electrical device, so it will have a very small amount of current through it. It will have very small amount of current through it, yes or no? Will it have a small amount of resistance or big amount of resistance? It doesn't matter what is the value, it doesn't matter what is the value, but it will have. Okay, so what I'm assuming is that it is having a resistance of 5 ohm. How much? 5 ohm I'm assuming. So if it is having a 5 ohm resistance, now what will happen? Now what will happen? Current will pass through this also, current will pass through this also, okay, because this 2 ampere will now get split. It will get split in 5 towards this voltmeter and ammeter. Now what will happen here? Through this 10 ohms, suppose what I'm assuming is that it will, the current somewhere around 1.5 will go, and here 0.5 goes. Okay. Now if you calculate the potential difference, what you will get? You will get what? 15. You will get what? 15. So what is the loss now? The loss is of 5 volt. The loss is of 5 volt. So now what is the need? What is the need? This resistor should be very, very high. This resistor should be very, very high, so that no current is allowed to pass through it. Because if any resistor is having very high resistance, less amount of current will pass through it. Okay, if it is having less resistance, more amount of current will pass through it. So what we don't want that a current should pass through the voltmeter. Okay, we do not want that a current should pass through the voltmeter. Minimum current should pass. This is what we desire. What we desire, that the minimum amount of current should pass through the voltmeter. Okay, and if minimum current is passing through the voltmeter, that is only possible when voltmeter is having a very, very high resistance. And other than that, there is no way that a small amount of current is passing through the voltmeter. Okay, so this is why we are saying that ideal voltmeter will have infinite resistance, but practically it is not possible to have an infinite resistance wire or infinite resistance coil. So in real or in practical things, lab, what we have a resistance, this internal resistance of voltmeter very, very high. Okay, it's not infinite, but it is very, very high, so that very, very small current passes through it, and so the error value will be less. Okay, is it understood now? Everybody understood this point? Is anyone having doubt and still? Okay, so the next thing is construction of voltmeter by galvanometer. So yesterday I had told you that you can construct a voltmeter using galvanometer. You can construct a ammeter using a galvanometer. Okay, so now we are going to construct a voltmeter by a galvanometer like yesterday we had done. Yesterday we had constructed ammeter using the galvanometer. Fine. Now just see here. It is connected by connecting a high resistance in series with the galvanometer of appropriate value. Okay. So from here, I think you people can understand that in ammeter we connected a resistance in parallel. Here we are connecting a high resistance, okay, high resistance in series with the galvanometer. Okay. Here what we are doing, we are connecting high resistance in series with the galvanometer so that it can be converted. This galvanometer can be converted into the voltmeter. Okay. So let us see this now. Suppose if you are having a galvanometer, suppose if we are having a galvanometer, okay. So it is having its own resistance. So that resistance is Rg, I guess. Okay. Its resistance is Rg and its full deflection current. Its full deflection current is Ig. Its full deflection current is Ig. Now what we are saying that by connecting a high resistance in series, a high resistance in series, a high resistance in series, okay, this volt galvanometer can be converted into volt. Now this is a voltmeter. This complete setup, okay, this complete setup will be acting as, this complete thing will be acting as a voltmeter. This complete thing is a voltmeter now. Okay, this galvanometer plus that resistance are, okay, RH, high resistance. Okay. Now suppose this is a point A and this is the point B. Okay, this is a point A and this is the point B. So now what is, you have to find out the value of RH. You have to find out the value of RH here. Okay, we have to find out the value of RH here. So suppose we are connecting this complete setup with the battery of V volt. Okay, we are connecting this complete thing by a battery of V volt. Okay, and current I is flowing. Sorry, Ig, not Ig will flow. Okay, because this is a series, so Ig current will flow. Now you tell what value of Ig you can write here. What value of Ig you can write here? You have to make sure that Ig is the value. Okay, so current is given as potential V divided by Rg plus Rh. Okay, Rg plus Rh. Now from here we have to calculate the value of Rh. So what we can do, Rg plus Rh I'll take towards the left hand side, Ig will come in the denominator. Okay, then I'll take Rh at the left side only and Rg I will bring to the right hand side. So what you will be having, Rh minus Rh is equals to V by Ig, okay, minus Rg. So this is what we are going to get. Okay, this is what we are going to get. The appropriate or the correct value of resistance with which we can convert a galvanometer into a range of V voltage. V, okay. So from now this galvanometer can measure from 0 to V volt, 0 to V volts. Okay, 0 to V volts. Okay. Now we are going to do a problem with in this, and after that you can ask your doubts. Okay. We are going to do a problem on this, and then after that you can ask your doubts in this. Fine. Yeah. So just read this question here. So this question says a galvanometer has a coil resistance 30 ohms and full deflection current. Okay. So let us note down the values what they have given to us. coil resistance, that means Rg value is what? 30 ohms. Okay. What is the Ig value? 2 milliamperes. 2 milliamperes. What is the resistance needed to convert into a voltmeter of 0.2 volt range? So that means it should read from, it should have a value from 0 to 0.2 volts. Okay, this is the range of which you have to construct the voltmeter. So if this is the range, so what we will do, we will construct corresponding to the highest voltage. Okay, now what we have to do now, we will just connect this galvanometer. Okay, so this is our galvanometer, which is having a resistance of 30 ohm. It will have a current of 2 milliampere. Okay, it is having a current of 2 milliampere, and then a high resistance value. Okay, this is A, this is B, and this is connected to 0.2 volt. Okay, now just calculate the value of R from here. So what you will write? Will you write it as Ig is equals to V by Rg plus Rh? Okay, so what is Ig value? Ig value is 2 milliampere. So 2 into 10 power minus 3 is equals to 0.2 divided by Rg value is 30 plus Rh. Okay, so just solve this now. We are okay. We are supposed to just solve this. So Rh value will become 0.2 divided by 0.002 minus 30. Okay, so what you will get now? Yes, what will you get? And 70. Okay, good. RH value is 70 now. RH value is 70 now. Okay, understood? Now, if you are using 0.2 volt, just see here, if you were using 0.2 volt, okay, then for that you have already applied, for that you have already used a resistor of 70 ohms now. Okay, for that you have already used the 70 ohms resistor. Now I am giving you one more question. Okay, now I am going to take one more question here itself. Okay, just to show you the variation. So now this is Rg, this is 70. Rg is given as 30 ohms. Okay, this is the current value, Ig dash, the current flowing through the galvanometer. And now instead of using 0.2 volt, what I am doing, I am using 0.1 volt. Okay, I am using 0.1 volt. Now you people tell me what is the value of Ig dash. Now you people tell me what is the value of Ig dash. Now you tell me what is the value of Ig dash. Yes. Now I want the value of Ig dash from you. So are you getting it as 0.1 divided by 100. Okay. So what you are getting? 0.001 ampere. Okay. So can I write it as 1 milliampere? Can I write it as 1 milliampere? Okay. So initially, what was the Ig value? 2 milliampere. So at 2 milliampere, it was showing you full deflection. It was showing you full deflection. Will it show full deflection here? Will that same galvanometer or the same voltmeter show you the full deflection here? No. Will not show, not give full deflection. Okay, will not give full deflection. Understood? So suppose if you are using, see, they are actually you are constructing a device. Okay, so whenever you construct a device, it is not that for only one value you will construct a device. For a range you will construct a device. Okay, for a range you will be constructing a device. Understood? So like if you see your speedometer, but best example is speedometer. So in some bikes, this speed limit, what is marked is 0 to 100. Okay, 0 to 100. In some bikes, it may go up to 0 to 150. In some bikes, it may go to 0 to 200 also. Okay, so it is not that either 0 or 100 only. No, it will be for between also. No? It will be for between also. Here also it will be for between. Here also it will be for between. But you should have a pointer. You should be getting reading when you reach 100. If you cross 100, what will happen? This will not give you the proper reading. This speedometer is not going to give you the proper reading. So in the same case, what we are doing here is that this galvanometer, which was having full deflection at 2 milliampere, okay, it will show full deflection at what volt? 2 volt only, 0.2 volt. If you reduce the voltage, if you reduce the battery EMF, what will happen? It is not going to show you the full deflection. That is what will happen. It will correspondingly reducing. Okay. If you make it 0.05, it will further decrease. If you make it 0.0025, it will further decrease. Okay. So like that it is there. So if they are asking for the range, that suppose you have to construct a voltmeter of range 5 volt. So that means what? 0 to 5 volt. That means what? 0 to 5 volt you have to consider. So 5 volt will be the design thing. Okay, you will manufacture this corresponding to 5, because my device must be ready. To cope up that 5. If it is able to cope up 5 volt, it will be able to cope up the 3 volt also. It will be able to cope up the 2 volt also. Understood? So this is what happens now. Okay, this is how everything is done. So now you just ask your doubts if anybody is having any doubt regarding this. Okay, I'll just put the slides. Okay, so this was voltmeter. If anybody is having any doubt, you just ask now itself. If anybody is having any doubt, you just now ask now itself. Here in construction, if anybody is having any doubt. Yes. In construction, if anybody is having doubt. See, this complete thing is the voltmeter. This complete thing is a voltmeter now. This complete box is our voltmeter. Okay, this complete box is our voltmeter. Galvanometer plus that series resistance. Okay, this complete thing is our voltmeter. If anybody is having any doubt, you just ask now itself. Is this the sum of voltage range? Is this the sum what you are asking? I can't understand. Is this sum? Okay, in this sum, the voltage range is between 0 to then see the voltage range. The voltage range is 0 to 0.2 volt. So it should show you the full deflection where. If the voltage range is from 0 to 0.2, it should show you the full deflection everywhere. Then how will you determine the reading? Then how will you determine the reading? Yes, it will only show the full deflection at this point. At any other value, it is not going to show you the full deflection. This is what I'm trying to explain you. If there are, suppose, if this is the galvanometer, okay? If this is the galvanometer now, okay? And this is the point where it is having full deflection, okay? So for 0 also, it is showing you this, okay? For 0.01, it is showing you the same reading. For 0.002 also, it is showing you the same reading. For 0.1 also, it is showing you same reading. For 0.15, it is showing you this. How will you differentiate? Yes. How will you differentiate? You will not be able to differentiate, no? So what should be the thing that this voltmeter should be doing? Yes. How it should function? How it should function? That at 0.2, that at 0.2, okay? At 0.2, it shows full deflection, okay? At 0.1, it should show you here. At 0.15, it should be somewhere here. At 0.05, it should be somewhere here, like that. At 0, it should be here, like that. Then you will be able to identify. If for every reading it is giving you full deflection, then how will you able to determine it? So range means what? From 0 to 0.2, it is made. At 0.2, it is showing you the full deflection. Okay. At 0.2, it is showing you the full deflection. Suppose if you make a if you connect it with a battery of 0.1, okay, so it is not showing you the full deflection. Understood? Anybody else? Any other doubt? Okay. Then we have to see the accuracy of the voltmeter. How accuracy can be increased? How we can increase the accuracy? So it is said that accuracy depends on the internal resistance of voltmeter. Okay, for a voltmeter, if you have a normal voltmeter, this thing we have already done. Okay, this thing we have already done. Just again, let us see this now. Its accuracy depends upon internal resistance. So this is what I have already told you. It depends upon the internal resistance. Okay, internal resistance of the voltmeter. Okay, now see how. Suppose if this is the case here, okay, if this is the case, so just tell me, if this voltmeter is not connected, if this voltmeter is not connected, okay, now you tell me what is the reading, what is the potential difference across AB, what is the potential difference across AB, you tell me. Yes, what is the potential difference across AB? Anyone? Potential difference across AB. VAB. What you are doing? Current into resistance. Resistance is 1000 into 5. This becomes 5000. Only 3-4 people are answering. Only 3-4 people are answering. Okay. Now, the potential difference across AB is 5000. Okay, fine. Now, if I take this, okay, and I ask you that this is connected now. Okay, this is connected like this. This is connected. Okay, and 5 ampere is passing here, and suppose 4.99 ampere is passing here, and the current passing here is very, very small, is still a current of this passes here. What is the potential difference across AB? What is the potential difference across AB? I into R. What is I? 4.99 into 1000. What you will get? 4990. Is there an error or not? Yes. Is there an error? Yes. Why is it coming? Why is this difference of 10 volt is coming? Why is the difference of 10 volt coming? Anyone who can write it in short? Why is the error of 10 volt is coming? Anyone who can write it? If you see here, when voltmeter was not connected, just see this, these two figures. If you see this figure, okay, because of deflection. Because of the voltmeter. Because of the voltmeter. Yes, because some of the current flows through the voltmeter. Very good. Raksha Akilan. Very good. Because some of the current flows through the voltmeter. Very good. Some amount of current has been passed into the voltmeter. Very good. So now see, actually the potential difference is 5000, which is a correct value. Which is a correct value. Now you are putting a device to measure that potential. So your device should not include error. What your device is doing here, because you are adding a device, it is introducing an error. Suppose you are asked to measure this length. Okay, you are asked to measure this length, and now your scale is itself having an error. So what will happen? What will happen? You will give a wrong reading. So this is what is happening here. Because you are connecting a voltmeter, it is drawing some amount of current. And if it is drawing some amount of current, so it is giving you a little less value. So how can you minimize this error? See here, the difference is how much? The difference is of 10 volt. How can you reduce it? How can you reduce it? By reducing the current. I can reduce this error. How can I reduce the error? By reducing current through voltmeter. And how can I do that? Resistance tending to infinite. Resistance tending to infinite. Then only I can do that. Okay, very good. Increasing resistance. So you understood now why this voltmeter is having an infinite resistance. Now did you understand why voltmeter is supposed to have a very, very high resistance? Okay. Now, okay. So just we have done this problem. We have done this problem also. Just take the screenshot of this. Just take the screenshot of this. This will be the homework for today. This is a homework question for today. Take the screenshot of this. At the end, I will not give you the screenshot of the question. Take the screenshot of this. Done. And you take this also. Homework. Okay. 2 questions as a homework for you. You just try it. Okay, you just try them. Okay. Now, if anybody is having any doubt regarding this, you just ask now itself, because we are going to see the standard experimental setups now. Okay, the second kind. This was the 3 deflection type meters. Now we are going to see the standard experimental setups. So if anybody is having any doubt in these topics, so you just ask now itself. All slides I will show you at the end, not now. All slides I will show you at the end, not now. I have already told you that. So in between the class, please don't ask. We are going to see this now. Okay, a standard experimental setup. So if anybody is having any doubt, you just ask now itself. If anybody is having any doubt, you just ask now itself. Slides I will show you at the end, not now. Okay. So we are going to see this standard experimental setup. And in this, I have already told you that we will study 2 things. One is about meter bridge. Okay. One is about the meter bridge we will be studying. And second, we will be studying about the potentiometer. Okay. We will be studying about the potentiometer. Understood? This is a very, very important topic. Okay, very, very important. Important than what we have covered just now. Okay, this is more important than the deflection type meter. This is more important than deflection type meter also. Okay, this is more important than the deflection type meters also. Fine. So now we are going to study meter bridge. Now we are going to study meter bridge. Okay. So this meter bridge is a device or experimental setup. Okay. You can say it is an experimental setup. Okay. Which is used. Okay. Which is used to determine the unknown resistance. Okay. It is used to determine the unknown resistance. Fine. So first what we are going to see is meter bridge. Okay. So what is the use of this? What is the use of this? It is used to determine the unknown resistance. So this is experimental setup actually. So this experimental setup is used to find unknown resistance. Unknown resistance. Okay. Unknown resistance. What is its working principle? Okay. Its principle is Wheatstone bridge only. Wheatstone bridge. And what is Wheatstone bridge? I have already told you. Okay. So I'm just writing it here. Okay. I'll draw the figure also. Okay. So if this is P, Q, R, S, and this is W. Okay. So if P by Q is equals to R by S, this is what? Balanced Wheatstone bridge or unbalanced Wheatstone bridge? Yes. Is this a balanced Wheatstone bridge or unbalanced bridge? Yes. Is this a balanced or unbalanced Wheatstone bridge? Yes. It is a balanced Wheatstone bridge. Good. It is a balanced Wheatstone bridge. Fine. And if it is a balanced Wheatstone bridge, so this X and Y, okay, what is the relation between the potential of X and potential of Y? Yes. What is the relation? Which one is greater and which one is smaller? Which one is greater or which one is smaller? Vx is greater than Vy or Vy is greater than Vx? Yes. I got only one answer. If this condition prevails, okay, if this is the condition, okay, PQ by P by Q is equals to R by S, then the X and Y, the potential of X and Y, what you will have? Which one will be greater? Yes, do it fast. We don't have full day. They both will be equal. They both will be equal. Okay, they both will be equal, and hence no current. Hence no current through. Hence no current through W. Hence no current through W. Okay, so this is the principle. Okay, this is the principle, and this is important when in board if they are asking you, okay, if they are asking you, oh, this Wheatstone bridge, so this principle will be very important. You have to write this thing. Okay, now let us see the experimental setup. Let us see the construction. Okay, what actually we have in the construction now. Okay, so I'm drawing the figure. Okay, so better in the notes. Okay, better in the notes you also draw with me. Okay, better in the notes you also draw with me the same thing. Fine. All of you draw with me. Okay, all of you have drawn this. So this is the setup. Okay, this is the setup, and here there is a supply. Okay, this, everybody draw this figure now. This is unknown resistance. Okay, this is unknown resistance. Unknown resistance. Okay, RK, better we write R into K. Unknown resistance. Now just see here, everybody, just see here, nobody is going to write do anything now. Okay, let us just understand the setup. Okay, the principle is very small, that this is the only thing. Now you have to just understand the setup now. You have to understand the setup now. Okay, this is a what is this RB? What is this RB over here? This is called as resistance box. Okay, this is called as resistance box. Resistance box. Okay, so resistance box is a device. Okay, this is a box like this. Okay, when you do the practical, you will see that it. Okay, you'll be having a box like this. Okay, and it will be having so many plug or key. Okay, there will be so many keys like this. There will be so many keys like this. Like this. Okay, so suppose if you plug this key, suppose if you plug this one. Okay, if you plug this one, so what will happen now? That this resistance, every key means one resistance. Okay, so corresponding to this one resistance, corresponding to this one resistance, corresponding to this one resistance, and corresponding to this one resistance. So suppose if you are plucking this key, what will happen? This particular resistance will be activated and the values will be written. Okay, so I'm just zooming it out. Okay, and then suppose if I'm writing 5 ohm here, 10 ohm here, 20 here, and 15 over here. Okay, and now if I pluck this key, okay, if I pluck this key, fine. Now what is the reading? Yes, if I pluck this one, fine. If I pluck this one, what is the resistance activated? What is the resistance activated if I pluck that? Yes, 20. We good. Then 20 is the resistance activated. So is this 20 known or unknown? This 20 is known or unknown value? This is a known value to you. Okay, this is a known value to you. Fine. Then you have one unknown resistance. Already you have one unknown resistance that I have marked with R suffix UK. So this is our unknown resistance. Okay, unknown resistance, and its value only we have to determine. Okay, this value only we have to determine. Okay, now this complete length A to B. Okay, this complete thing here. Okay, what you are able to see here, this complete thing. Okay, this is a wire. This complete thing is a wire. Okay, this complete thing is a wire, and this is this is 100 centimeter. What is the length of this wire? 100 centimeter. Okay, so AB is wire. AB is wire. Okay, and this is 100 centimeter. If not told in question, if the value is not given in the question, so what value you will assume for this? 100 centimeter. That means 1 meter. That means 1 meter you will assume. Fine. Now, corresponding to this, okay, corresponding to this, you will have a scale. You will have a scale kept here. Like this, you will be having a scale, okay? Like this, you will be having a scale. And now, what is the use of this scale? What is the use of this scale? This scale, okay? Using this scale, what you will do, you will just measure this length. You will just measure this length, okay? So this length is suppose L. This length is suppose L. Then what will be this length? If this is a wire of 100 centimeter, what will be this length? Yes, if one part is X, L, then the another part will be how much? 100 minus L. Very good. 100 minus L. 100 minus L. Okay, 100 minus L. So do you understand every setup? Now, what is this G here? What is this G? This G here, okay, this is what? Galvanometer. 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 So is everything clear now? This experimental setup is clear to everyone. How you will measure that I will take in the next class. How you will take it, I'll take it in the next class. Is everything clear now? This is jockey. Okay, this arrow here. This arrow here. Okay, if you can see this arrow here, I'm zooming it. This arrow here, okay, is jockey. Okay, this is J here. This point here is J. Okay, this is J. And J means what? Jockey. It is kind of a pen-like structure you will be having, and you will connect a wire. This is a wire, okay? This complete thing is a wire. This is a wire, okay? This complete thing is a wire. Okay, with that you will connect it, the galvanometer and the jockey. So is this setup clear to everyone? Is this setup clear to everyone? How you will measure it? What is the process we will take in the next class? Okay. So now you just quickly take the slides. Okay. So we have started from this voltmeter. Do it fast. Done. This is the second slide. Third slide. This is the fourth slide. This is what we did yesterday. This is what we have done yesterday. This is today what we have done. Voltmeter B. What actually you're asking? I can't understand. Voltmeter B means what? This is the question we have done today. This was a variation what we did. This was the variation what we have done in that question. This is 2 questions as a homework, and then meet a bridge. This is the first slide. Standard experimental setup. This is the first slide. And then this is the experimental setup. This is the experimental setup. Okay. Have you taken this? Fine. Now just note down these questions. Just note down this question. This is the question for homework. Okay. This involves KCL and KVL. Concept of KCL and KVL. These 3 questions involve concept of KCL and KVL. This in question number 3. In question number 3, this is a capacitor. Okay. This is a capacitor. This is a capacitor. Okay. This is the homework questions. Okay. On KCL and KVL. And then if you have taken this, so these are the 2 questions on KVL and KCL. Okay. So total 5 questions on KVL and KCL concepts. In question number 4, I have shown you the points. I have shown you the current directions. Okay. This here, this is the direction of current. This is the direction of another current. This is current 2. This is current 1. Okay. And this is the loop 1. This is loop 2. Okay. You have to find out the values of I1 and I2 now. I have given you the loop direction. I have given you the current direction. Okay. If you want to change the direction, it is up to you. You can change it. The only thing is I need the value of I1 and I2. Okay. I need the value of I1 and I2. Okay. If you want, you can change the current direction. If you want, you can change the loop direction. Okay. And this is the 5th question. So, okay, with this, I'll just finish this explanation of starting class of point B of voltmeter. Point B of voltmeter. Point B of voltmeter. Okay, this one. For ideal, here only I told you, no? This question, this one, accuracy thing. This accuracy thing. You're asking this one. Are you asking this one? Are you asking this one? Then which one? This one. This one. You just contact me afterwards, okay? You contact me afterwards, Ganesh. Fine.